Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy on Tap podcast. I'm your host, Eric Sonnier, with my boy Blake Gambino here. We're happy to be back. Football week 2. That's what we're going to be talking about. First, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Become an all-access member of Fantasy Six Pack to get access to the award-winning rankings, DFS projections, betting advice, and other league-winning content. Best of all, you get access to the analysts directly on our Discord, where you get custom advice for your leagues. Go to fantasysixpack.net/plans and use promo code F6PNFL to save 10% when you sign up today. I know we're all live right now. This is our second week being live. Send those questions in while we're going. We'll try to answer them all as much as we can. Click a like, click the little bell. You can get the alerts when we start going live. And let's get it going, dude. What's up?
Man, we do good, bad, ugly every week. And I actually almost put myself under the ugly because I think I went like 0-7 this week or something in fantasy.
Damn. I think I hated you one of those L's too. I'm pretty sure I hated you one of those L's pretty badly, honestly.
Dude, I played you and Marlon both had Hurts and Jefferson in one league. So I was like behind the bullet from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then Nick Chubb gets injured and all that stuff.
Dude, speaking of fantasy wins and losses, in Scott Fishbowl, dude, I am the 24th ranked player in the whole entire tournament right now. I just scored 280 this week, behind all those receivers I got, and the two quarterbacks that I got. We talked about it kind of when I was drafted, and people were saying that I don't know about this team because of the tight ends, but Kincaid and Laporta both are kind of balling out, or just decent enough with that tight end premium that this is working out for me. So look to see how I'm doing.
That's what I was saying earlier when we were talking about it too. Like when you picked Matt Stafford, I was just like, that's risky because I think me and you both kind of thought he looks injured and old, and then he's without him, like where would he be?
Probably somewhere 280. I mean, I picked up Puka, you guys, for $5 bid before the season started, week 1, and then I did the decision to actually start him week 1. That didn't disappoint. I obviously started again last week, and I got Mike Evans. I think I got him and Puka are 1 and 2 for receivers right now, so I got both those. Not to mention Olave, Stephon Diggs, and who's about the DeVonta Smith, who's all balling right now. So that's going good for me. I'm kind of winning all of my leagues right now, to be honest with you. I'm not negative in anything, so I don't want to brag while you're on your knees right now. So we'll save that for you.
It's been a depressing week. I mean, I literally lost in the league. Like the guy had Brian Robinson, Puka, and Kyron Williams, and that was like 95 points right there, and I scored like 140. So I mean, I'm playing 12 versus 3, and he almost outscored my whole team with 3 people. So I was like, oof, it's been a tough, and it's so funny how fantasy is because you look at your team and you're like, this team rocks, and then you're like, I'm depressed. Like,
yeah, absolutely, it should suck sometimes.
But on a positive note, Saints are 2-0.
Who that, baby?
That's where we're at. Saints 2-0. What'd you think about that game last night? Low scoring, defensive battle.
Honestly, I wasn't happy about it. At first, we were winning most of the game. Defense looks elite. Our defense might be the best in the league, besides maybe the Cowboys. Our defense is locked down. Lattimore is a shutdown corner. Granderson's coming out of nowhere. DeMario's doing his thing. It's that offensive line, man.
Looks good. Marshawn Lattimore,
yeah. That offensive line though it's killing me, bro. He doesn't have any time to throw. So and Pete Carmichael, I don't think he's just any good. He doesn't. Why would you just be doing quick passes left and right? You have no time to throw the ball. Just throw the ball to quick passes.
That's kind of what it seemed like what our offense was. Mike Thomas had about 8 slant targets at the beginning of the game. I wanted to do a good, bad, ugly just for the Saints.
Right.
Ugly is definitely the play calling. Bad is the offensive line. Good, I guess the defense and Rashid Shaheed, right? And Olave.
Shaheed and Olave and Michael Thomas. All 3 of our receivers are elite right now.
Michael Thomas's health could be put under good for sure.
Michael Thomas looks like his old self, right? He doesn't look like he's going to get injured or frail. When he hit the ground on his ass, like when I catch, I was nervous for a second. He popped right back up. So he's looking good. Derek Carr, I will say, I saw one bad throw, like the one he threw to Olave on that out route. Like that was ridiculous. He should have hit that dude. All I had to do was tell you, and you knew what I'm talking about. And then the interception,
That
I was just like, bro, you can't throw it into triple coverage. Like, where do you got to clean that up. If we were playing a better team, we probably would have lost just strictly off the ball placement there. But Saints are going to have to pick. They're 2-0 playing the Packers, who I don't think they don't look that good. They should have. I mean, they barely lost to the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons look good either. So we got a chance to win, but we got to step up on the offensive line for sure.
Looking ahead, we don't play the Falcons for a minute, but the Falcons' strength is their run game, and it seems like our defensive strength is our run defense. So it's going to be an interesting clash where they've got some decent guys on the D line, and it seems like right now Derek Carr has no time to It's not. I'm not gonna say he has no time, but like once he gets sped up. And then as soon as he gets sacked once or twice, then he's rushing everything and starts making throws. And
I'm starting to see I don't feel like he has a ton of pocket awareness either. Like it's just like it's like the pocket collapses and he's still holding the ball, bro. Like just get it out quick. You know what's going to happen. I mean, stop looking for stuff downfield. That'll open up when we get Alvin Kamara back, right? I mean, nobody's worried about a run game. Man. Nobody's worried about our run game right now without Alvin. So I think it'll be better after next week. But I mean, even if we lose this week, 2-1 without our best player, I mean, that's still pretty good.
There's a few plays I was watching last night too, where I mean, we honestly just missed Drew Brees. You know, we got a guy crossing and the pocket's closed and there's nowhere to step up. He just takes a sack. Drew Brees knows that guy's crossing and because he's so little, can't even see it. He just chucks it over there, first down. Dude, but there was a few plays like where he just held the ball and didn't. And I'm like, dude, you got the crosser. Throw it to him, you know. So.
I said that so many times last night. I was just like, y'all lucky we don't got 9 anymore because with this defense and those receivers right now, I mean, we'd be Super Bowl contenders right now. I mean, even with the bad offensive line, because Drew Brees is getting it out. Like, you know, I mean, one of the quickest snap to throw quarterbacks of all time. So I mean, with number 9 would be elite. It just sucks. Hopefully, Derek Carr can step up. He's not a bad quarterback. I think he can figure it out. So hopefully, the Penning is really the one that's really getting his butt kicked every single snap. So hopefully he can pick that up.
He played better last night for sure because they got that new Burns on the line. So I mean, it could have been a lot worse, you know. So
absolutely. All right, well, let's get into some good, bad, ugly, dude. Some good. It's that Rams offense. We were just talking about it, huh? You got Kyron Williams going for 14 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown. Then you got Puka over there with 15 catches for 147 yards, 20 targets. Who's the receivers? Who are the other receivers over there? I mean, is he the only one? I mean,
Tutu Atwell had like 7 for 77 as well. So I mean, they're just throwing the crap out of the ball. I think Stafford threw it like 55 times or something.
Yeah.
So right now, I mean, like I said, I lost to these two guys this week. When a guy I'm playing started these guys, I said to and they're playing the 49ers, right? Great defense, everybody's healthy. I'm like, I'm gonna wax this dude this week, you know? Yeah. 65 points between those two dudes, man. I was just and he picked them both. He didn't even draft any of them either. They were just free agent dudes, you know. Picked them up.
You gotta with the defense, like you just said, San Francisco has one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, they're every week starters now. I mean, I would hold caution once Chubb comes back for Puka, but like they're trading Cam Akers. I don't see how Puka would just be phased out after. I mean, how awesome he is right now. If anything, he might even start going harder as a wide receiver too, because all the cornerbacks are going to be on Chubb, so he might even start going harder.
I've seen some stats too that Chubb ran a lot. Most of his, like, I want to say 60+% of his routes out of the slot, and Puka's running 45% more out of Y, like out of the X spot. So he's not. People are saying, "Oh, he's running the cup roll." He's not running the cup roll. He's just getting the cup targets.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to look at it for sure. Yeah. But yeah, those two guys are every week starters for me now. I think they play the Titans this week, or is that the who was I thinking that played the Titans? No, it's the Browns because I was looking at Jerome Ford. But yeah, so those are every week starters. I'd keep Puka in the lineup as long as you can. I mean, 35 targets in 2 games. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, next we got Brian Robinson Jr. up there. Dude is the wide receiver. I mean, the running back 3 right now in fantasy. 18 carries for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had 2 catches for 43 yards. Oh, I didn't even see that you put the running back 3 right there. I just said that. But yeah, dude, Antonio Gibson is not a player. I actually dropped him in a league this week. Wow. I thought he was going to be like a slot receiver or something. You know, I mean, he gets no carries, he gets no touches. Brian Robinson.
He definitely
stealing everything.
had more to do this week, but yeah, last week, I mean, I think he got like 8 snaps or something. So
Yeah.
that was
He did.
as a guy who drafted him over Brian.
Yeah.
I literally had both stickers in my hand trying to pick between Robinson and Gibson, and like my time was running down. And so in my home league, my brother came up behind me and he was like, he just took Robinson and put him on the board because he was next. And I was like, okay, like, you know, I'm like, oh, it's not that end of the world. And looking back, I'm like pulling my hair out. I'm like, God dang it! Like,
I would have let him take it out. I wouldn't have let him take it out of my hand. But that's the one I would have picked and be like, nope, just kidding. I'm picking him.
That's the thing is, I was really kind of leaning towards Robinson because you know we got Joe in for fantasy 6-pack Joe. You know, he's a Commanders fan, and he was saying how he likes Robinson and stuff. So I was really leaning towards him. But then I started thinking like, you know, the PPR just makes you more valuable, and I just got too. I should have just went up there and put Robinson on the board, and I would have number 3.
Honestly, the Commanders, Sam Howell. I actually when in that 2-quarterback league that I'm in, I traded for Sam Howell this week right after Rodgers got hurt, and that worked out pretty well. I mean, he had a substantial amount of points. He's playing pretty well. So I mean, both of those guys are pretty much good starters.
I think Bieniemy is calling a good offense. You can tell that the Chiefs are struggling a little bit. So obviously he had a lot to do with their play calls and stuff. And then
so is Mahomes a system quarterback? Is he just not? Is it all Bieniemy? Is Howell the next Mahomes? Who will know?
Is Kupp a system wide receiver? I mean, that's kind of where you're going with that, right?
Good.
I think these guys are system and they're good. You know, they can. If you're in a good system, then you're great, right?
So, right. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's all circumcision. I mean, Mahomes is obviously one of the best, but I mean, he is struggling. I mean, Kelsey's first game back. He didn't look very hot either. So I mean, you could probably attest that to him not really doing a lot in the offseason, getting hurt, you know, all that good stuff. But I don't know. The Chiefs don't look too great to me right now. They did beat the Jaguars, but I think they're pretty bad too.
Really? All right.
But yeah, so
DeVonta Smith, the guy you got.
DeVonta Smith, he's another guy that I have. I'll look on the chat, see if we have any questions. We don't yet. 4 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown on Thursday Night Football. He looks pretty good. It's clear that he's like a favorite of Jalen. What does that say? He's 100% snap share in the game. I mean, he played every snap of the offensive drive. So, yeah. DeVonta Smith, dude from down the road. He's from Amite, Louisiana, dude. He's from right down the road from us. Went to Amite High, and then he went to Alabama, which that sucks. But you know, he's pretty good. And if Jalen Hurts is liking him over AJ Brown, oh, there we go. We got one. Then that's good. Hey, what was Chubb's actual injury? Was it fibula, femur, ACL? I don't know if they've said it yet. Have they said anything?
Yeah, I haven't seen any news based on the video and the picture. Me and Eric were talking about this before, and actually, I had a pretty serious knee injury that looked a lot similar to that, and I tore MCL, ACL, PCL, messed up my meniscus. Thought I broke my leg, thought I broke my fibula or my femur or something because of the noise it made, but ended up not breaking anything. It really looked like his knee bent right at the hinge, you know, so I'm assuming he didn't break anything. He just dislocated his knee and then shredded his meniscus. And what meniscus was left, because he had a very similar injury already to that exact knee, like in 2015, I think, or something like that.
Dude, that picture, it was disgusting. If he, I don't think he broke a bone, but he broke everything. Like all of his ligaments are gone. Like his knee is messed up. He's lucky if he'll be able to walk again. That looked like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I mean, career probably over, which really sucks because the dude, he's a well-liked player throughout the league, not just like as a running back, just as a player in the league, you know. So like,
yeah, I was just looking on really Roto World to see if they've actually said what the problem was, but I haven't seen anything. Like, I feel like that would have come out what his actual injury was, but I'm gonna look it up just to be sure.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Dion. I mean, what we can say right now is he probably and just being serious. I mean, not trying to be mean about the dude's career or nothing, but I mean, I would find it very hard to believe if he ever plays again. You know?
Yeah.
Just the way that looked, man. I mean, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick putting his entire body weight in the dude's knee to go the opposite direction. I mean, the hinge was just his body's facing this way and his knee went like that. You know, like
it was disgusting.
Not good. Honestly, a lot of people were saying Fitzpatrick was dirty for that play too because Chubb was already getting pulled down, and Fitzpatrick was coming right at his knee. Like he like went right at his knee with the shoulder and everything. And it was
dude, his
definitely
knee
didn't look
just,
good.
I mean, it
Sucked to
just went
see.
it just straightened out. It was disgusting. I don't really want to talk about it too much more, especially
Yeah,
now
it
you
was-
probably get the flashbacks thinking about that.
For some reason on that one, it wasn't so bad. I get more of that like icky feeling of when you land, you know? Yeah. Dion says the same thing. My stomach curled seeing it. Yeah. If watching it live, I could understand that. But for me, like it was more like it's more like landing injuries that give me the heebie-jeebies because that's how I messed up my knee. I landed and someone landed on top of me. So
Connor's old big ass landed on top of him.
Dion.
But yeah, I think that was it for the good. Like I was telling us in the last episode, we're really kind of just going on for not like superstars. Like obviously Chris McCaffrey had another good game. Tyreek Hill had a good game. We're not going to talk about those guys; those are obvious. We're
Chris McCaffrey played every snap, also, dude.
Again, I don't think he played every snap.
No, the other guy got a couple snaps, but McCaffrey played 100% of the snaps.
They said they were dialing my man back, and he is playing every snap. That makes me nervous. I do have him in a league. I don't want him to go down.
Don't get hurt.
Let's go to the bad, dude. Justin Fields, huh? What a bummer. I really was kind of off on Justin Fields this year. I didn't draft him in any leagues. Thank God I didn't. He just looks bad. I don't think Justin Fields is a good quarterback, to be honest with you. I think he was good last year because he's a running quarterback. But I think he would need a super team around him to be good.
I definitely think the coaching plays a part of it. Like we were just saying, system offense and stuff. I mean, the dude ran 3 times. I mean, Jalen Hurts is running like 15 times a game. So like
3 yards.
It's like with Richardson. Richardson looking pretty good because they're playing to his strengths, you know.
But I feel like Fields was running a bunch last year, right? I mean, he ran a bunch. Nobody really was. They were.
I'm not sure if it was that many designed. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was as many design runs.
So what's different then? Why is he still doing that? Because he was like, I was thinking last year he made things happen, right? It was a pass and he would run out of it and take off, and he would run for 80 yards.
I'm feeling like just from watching. I think I didn't watch the Bucs game too much. I mean, I saw highlights here and there, but I really think it's more of he's really trying to sit in the pocket and make the right throw. Like he's trying to be that quarterback, and he's kind of hindering himself on that. I mean, did you see that one play where, I mean, he's sitting back and he's got 2 wide receivers, you know, one's doing a post and one's just going deep, and they both, I mean, either guy is open, and he's just kind of like, and then he tucks it down and starts trying to run and get sacked, and it's just like, I really feel like it's partly the coaching, you know, because if you don't, I mean, there's no way you can say the dude can't throw. Like the dude he's
not accurate. He's not an accurate quarterback. He has an arm, right? I mean, he can throw it. He just he's not accurate. 16 for 29 isn't a bad line, and for 211, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. He's turned the ball over 4 times. I mean, that's not good. I mean, people were drafting
4 rushes though. If you were gonna draft Justin Fields in a league,
right.
You know that he was going to have 4 rushes in 1 week. I mean, that's like we're saying, his floor should be his rushing. He should have 10 rushes minimum.
Absolutely.
I think last week he had 9 for 59. So to go to 4 for 3 is just
trending in the wrong direction. That's why we got him on the bad. He is. I mean, obviously he's a good fantasy quarterback in my opinion. When he runs the ball, but right now he's not. So if you do have other options, I would look that way until they decide to get offense going in another direction. Which brings us to our next guy that I was thinking is the Bengals offense in general. I mean, the Bengals offense. I mean, you drafted Joe Burrow highly. You drafted Jamar Chase first couple picks. You drafted Jamar Chase in the first round in the league. And what does he have?
Number 1 overall.
Does he even have 20 points on the year yet? I mean,
no, he can. He had 9 points last week and like 8 points this week.
Yeah. So. I mean, and Joe Mixon, he hasn't been doing well. T. Higgins the first week had 0 points. He did do something this week, right? He had a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, he got both of the plays this week. So.
But the Bengals in general are just a disappointment this year, right? I mean, they did start off 0-2 last year, so hopefully they can pick it up. But our boy Joe is not playing well right now.
I mean, the only positive I could say, I told you the stat before we got on, is in the first 2 weeks last year, Burrow got sacked 13 times and 10 times, respectively. And this year, he's only been sacked 3 times through 2 weeks.
So is he trying to get the ball out too quick, or?
No, I mean, I just think maybe the O-line's playing a little better, you know. But, his completion percentage is down, though. So I'm sure, he might be throwing away a little bit more than usual, or just, getting the ball out, even if it's
I haven't watched any of the Bengals games yet. I'm just they're not on TV in our area. So I'm kind of just looking at highlights and stats, but it doesn't look too good. Especially from where you drafted these guys at. Like I said, number 1 pick, number 2, number 3 pick. two quarterback leagues or like Scott Fishbowl league, Joe Burrow went in the first 5 picks. I mean,
right.
It's just not where you want to see those players.
Having I got Jefferson and Chase in one league. Watching Jefferson on Thursday versus watching Chase on Sunday it's not like they're both great players, but I just feel like the offense is totally like Justin Jefferson. Get this dude the ball. He's running in motion. He's even when he's a decoy, like their Cousins is still thinking about throwing it to him. Like Chase just seems like even the little motions he does aren't very it's not really like you see Tyreek Hill go in motion and like the defense is like ripping their hair out, and like. Yeah. Chase goes in motion, little 3-yard back, and then they throw him like a little out route. It's just like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Bengals definitely looking bad. But they started out 0-2 last year and went to the AFC Championship. Right?
So, they weren't the year they went to the Super Bowl. I think they were a wild card team. So let's just hope they pick it up, especially for fantasy purposes. And obviously, we like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase from LSU. So,
I'm seeing now Burrow might go on IR with this calf injury. So I'm just like, oh man,
that would not be good.
My F6P team is not looking good. So.
I did trade away Chase this year, but I also received J.K. Dobbins when I did, and he might not play again either. So, on to the next. I'll let you take this one. I didn't really have that. You got the Chargers. Defense.
So I saw this stat, and this was what really made me want to put them on here as bad. There's another stat too I didn't write down, but Chargers only team in NFL history to score 58 plus points with 0 turnovers in their first 2 games and be 0-2. That takes some talent. So that just makes me think Staley's a poor coach. Another stat was that the Titans haven't scored over 19 points, haven't scored over 20 points in the last 19 games, I think. Something crazy, some crazy stat like that. And the Chargers let Tannehill throw 27 points on him. Tannehill had 4 incompletions. How bad did Tannehill look last week?
Dude, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they just beat the Chargers. Is that win better for us now?
Does that mean the Saints are we actually good? Yeah, because that was a tough game too to only win 16-15. So
right.
Tannehill only 4 incompletions, and he looked like and I'm like, well, maybe he looked bad because we're that good, Maybe that was
that's what I'm thinking. I think like I said, we're not going to get into that again. Our defense is elite. It's our offense that needs to start clicking. But
Breesy's had 2 plays this year. Our first round pick.
Strap fumble, dude.
He's had 2 great plays this season so far, and both of them got called back on penalty.
Dude, I didn't even. When that happened, did you even see they didn't even call the flag? It was just like we saw it. They just went to commercial, and then the Chargers had the ball.
On my end, I was streaming it, but on my end, the announcer basically was just like, "Yeah, looks like the Panthers are going to get the ball back," but they didn't say why or anything.
Right.
And even the announcers were like, "Yeah, we'll let you know when we know." I'm like. Did the ref not come up and say, "Hey, here's what's happening"?
Strip sack on. It was like 3rd or 2nd down, and then I was watching on TV, and they didn't say anything. That happened. We went to commercial, and then we come back, and it's 1st and 10 Carolina. I'm like, well, what? What the hell just happened? We did end up getting a punt, but that's not the point. It's just another thing that the Saints are never going to get things going their way. I will say that we are not as penalized as I thought we were going to be coming off the preseason. It looked like we were going to be one of those teams that had a ton of penalties, but we've been looking good. But we kind of got off track there. That'll happen if we get on the Saints rant.
Okay.
You lost me?
Yeah, you were like, we've been, and then you kind of were just like, boom. All right, our other guys back real quick before we jump away, because I was just saying how Burrow might go on IR. Dion says, the guy that asked us the first question, he says, I might have to trade Chase if Burrow goes on IR. I am right there with you, my bro, and keep on those on your websites, even F6P, try to figure out, be the first one to know if Burrow's going on IR. So if
I would look into trading him now. If you already kind of know Joe Burrow's hurt, if Joe Burrow goes hurt, then people are not going to want Jamar Chase as much as they would want him now. So if you got a chance to do it, I would look into doing it now. Don't listen to Blake. He doesn't like the trade. He's not going to trade even if Joe Burrow gets hurt.
Before I even read Dion's comment, I was thinking today while I was driving, when I heard that he might go on IR, I was like, damn, I might have to trade Chase. I have him in a keeper league is the only thing. So it's I'm trying to weigh his keeper value versus keeping him this year, So
what is it? What round does he get next year?
A second.
Oh, well, never mind. I would keep him. But no, if there's a redraft league and somebody wants him, I would trade him now for high bounty because once Joe Burrow's news is hurt, he's going to be out. So I wouldn't go with that. But yeah, let's get into some ugly. Colts defense, man. What do you think about that? Why'd you put them?
All right. Well, here's the stat. This is why I put the Colts defense on here. 20 receptions, nearly 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns to just 3 receivers. And Stroud had almost 400 yards in his second career start. When people were at the beginning of the year talking about Stroud, they weren't even sure. They were thinking Davis Mills or the other guy they got, Case Keenum, was going to be the starter. So for this dude to come in and scorch the Colts this bad really makes me feel like the Colts defense, pass defense, is no good because they only allowed like 2 yards per rush. So I put them on there because every time I looked back at that game, Nico Collins was just catching the ball. Tank Dell was catching a touchdown. I was just like – and then Stroud wasn't looking rattled. I mean, he was slinging the ball. He was looking like Ohio State Stroud, you know. So I had to put the Colts D on here on ugly. You can't give up 400 yards in a rookie's second career start. I mean, they still won the game, but that's tough. Like that, you're not going to face Mahomes, and you're going to face Mahomes or somebody like that and give up a ton of yards, you know. So that was bad.
Dude, I will say publicly that I do apologize for saying Anthony Richardson was going to be horrible. Dude looks good. He's running the ball well.
Hurt,
but that is going to be a concern for Richardson. He's going to be a runner. That's why he's going to be like Fields last year. He's going to run the ball a ton. It's going to be he's going to get hit. I mean, that's just – you're going to have to worry about that every week if he's going to take that hit every week because he was 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. That's pretty nice, both rushing. So
in that 2 quarterback league we have, I'd had Fields and I think Justin Herbert is my other quarterback, but I drafted Anthony Richardson late, and now I'm starting Richardson as long as he's not hurt.
Fields,
and he's getting this points I thought Fields would get.
Right.
You know, 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns rushing.
That kind of what happened with running quarterbacks in the NFL. Like the first year they come out, they're pretty good, and then the next year they figure them out. And once they take away those legs or they figure out their offense, these guys aren't as good as they used to.
I mean, you remember Cam Newton's first couple games? I think he threw for 400 yards his first ever game.
Right after his MVP season, Cam Newton was never really good again. Right. To be honest with you, Cam Newton wasn't that fantastic his MVP season. I don't think he was an average stat-wise quarterback. He just ran for a lot of touchdowns. We won't get into that. I don't like Gambino.
Crazy.
But yeah, so now the next one will be the Browns front office. I think that's for obvious reasons, dude. They just paid Watson and mortgaged their future in terms of pick for the next few years for this dude, and I don't think he looks very good. Is that his season stats?
That's his season stats. Not even 400 yards, which we just said how C.J. Stroud had 400 in one game.
Right. 2 interceptions, only 2 touchdowns, and he just lost his best running back. Baker Mayfield's balling for the Bucs over there. 490 yards, 3 touchdowns, 69% completion percentage, and 66.4 QBR. That's pretty good. And the Bucs
the most important stat. He's 2-0. Yeah. So I had to put the Browns on there. Especially considering they got rid of Mayfield to get this dude.
Right.
And Mayfield, it's widely known that he had an injury the year before. And he was playing through that injury. So a smaller quarterback like that, you're not going to have as much oomph on the ball. You're going to start forcing stuff. You're going to start throwing more picks, just trying to get the ball downfield. Plus, they play outside, So, yeah, just the fact that –
I think we play the Bucs at home in a couple of weeks. I'm ready for that. I think we're going to be all over that ass. I mean, he ain't going to be doing all that running and throwing against us. And Lattimore already got Mike Evans' number, and that's their best offensive player right there. We're going to be hurting.
Did you see? I mean, I bring up the refs every week, but tell me you saw that 80-yard catch Evans had, where he literally pushed the cornerback down before he caught the ball. I'm just
the cornerback was like standing there like this. He's like, "What the heck just happened?" And he's like,
the most obvious, just like push and catch, and then he just ran for like 8. And I'm just like, dude, this is what I'm talking about when I say the refs are garbage.
Absolutely garbage. Last but not least, we got the Monday Night Football, and I'll let you take it because that's your thing.
All right. Yeah, I saw this. I think I saw this stat on Twitter. I added a couple of extra. It was like the last 2 games. Here's what happened. But then I went back and I looked. The last 5 Monday Night Football games, Kyler Murray tore his ACL. Damar Hamlin unalived himself on the field. Okay.
Jeez.
He had cardiac arrest. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. Last night, Trevor Penning got pushed into Shaq Thompson. He fractured his fibula, out for the year. And then Nick Chubb has this horrendous knee injury that just makes you close your eyes and want to like give the guy a hug. Like, so is Monday Night Football cursed? What do you think?
Could be a thing. That's 5.
Like the Madden curse.
I mean, yeah. Dude, did you see that they were like trying to say that DeMar Hamlin was going to win Player of the Year, comeback Player of the Year? He's been healthy scratches in the first 2. Yeah, because he's not good. Like he just had a significant thing happen to him on the field one night, and I mean, good for him that he lived, but I mean, obviously he's not as good as everybody said.
Dude,
I think comeback Player of the Year is Michael Thomas, right? I mean, you boys on pace for
1,000 maybe too. If Tua plays the whole year, yeah.
Michael Thomas is on pace for 1,000 yards, so I think if he gets that, he has a good shot of winning that.
I think it's crazy too. They're calling him. I mean, I know it's just the verbiage, but like to call him a healthy scratch, it's
yeah.
Is he healthy? Like he's obviously not healthy if you don't want to play him. Like,
right.
But I know a lot of people who bet money on him to win comeback player of the year. I think he got into like minus 130 or something, which means he was like a pure favorite to win the award. And people were still betting on that. They were like, it's hands down, no way he won't get it. And like you said, he hasn't even played one game this year. He hasn't played a snap. So I think that's pretty crazy. Are we getting a question? This guy says, who's Michael Thomas? Hey, Marlon DeFillo, you know who MT13 is. That's your slant boy.
You know who he is. He's a dude that Marlon's always trying to draft. Marlon's a Saints fan. He just doesn't want to admit it.
He's a guy who's a team player, unlike A.J. Brown, okay? Going to be all mad about
after Rodgers went down, Marlon's quarterback 3 was Derek Carr, and he would not trade him to me. He was just like, I'm keeping him. He's a good backup. And I was like, he drafted Derek Carr as a third quarterback like early. I was like, this dude's a Saints fan. Just admit it. Come on, Marlon. Type it in the comments. You're a Saints fan. We love to hear it. But anyway, I think we're done. That was our show for today. We had our good bad ugly. We'll be back next week for week 3. Hopefully we get some more questions like we did last week. Just make sure you guys become an all-access member of Fantasy Six Pack. Use those codes.
Got it. Just playing, bro. Love you.
Use the promo code F6PNFL to save 10% when you sign up today. Please like and subscribe. Give us the questions. We'll answer them next week. We love you guys. And we're going to tap on out of here for this Tuesday night.
Tap out.
See you guys.